using the Dienes for multiplication. So this is so I would use the Dienes to do multiplication. So if I'm working, this is a typical year 3 activity, but you might have some year 2s who you want to challenge, who might be on that cusp, who you want to stretch. This would be ideal for them. So let's just say the calculation is, let's just say the calculation is 11 multiplied by 12. Just as, you know, a year 2, year 3 child, this is going to be a lot for them. But if you can get them to use the base 10 to represent these numbers, it is not. And I'm telling you, it's lovely to see what they can do. So first of all, what do I teach them? What do we teach them? If I'm doing 11 lots of 12, the bigger number always goes on top. Because if we're doing column multiplication, we know that the bigger number goes on top. So it's 12 multiplied by 11, not the other way around. So because the 12 goes on top, how do we represent 12? Right, we're going to have a 10, and then we're going to have 2 ones. So you imagine the year 3 child or the year 2 child has got a piece of paper that looks like this, and you've told them they're going to represent 12 times 11, and they've represented 12 as a 10 and a 1. How do you represent 11? So the same thing, we're going downwards. So we've got the 10 and we've got the 1. So step number 1, we're going to multiply each of these along the left by each of these along the top. That's what we're doing. We're going to multiply all along the left here with all along, which is at the top, which is the right. So 10 times 10 is 100. So I'm going to put the 100 flats in this space here. Why? Because 10 times 10, 10 lots of 10 is 100. So I've done this 10 with this 10. I'm now going to do this 10 with this one. So 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. I'm going to put the 10 rod like this underneath the 1 there. And then 10 multiplied by 1 again is 10. It's going to look like this. So I've used the 10 with the 10 here, the 1 here, and the 1 here. In other words, I am not going to use the 10 again, because this 10, I've used it with all of this. I do not need to use it again. So I'm now going to go to my 1. 1 multiplied by 10 is 10. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1 again. So I've used this 1 digit here with my 10 and with my 1 and my 1. Now we've got the answer. All we need to do is to show our children how to read the answer. This is worth 100. This is worth 10, and this is worth 10. So we've now got 120. This is worth 10. We've got 130. This is worth 1, 131, plus another 1 is 132, and 11 and 12 times 11 is indeed 132. And at this stage, there's been no physical recording on paper. It's been pure manipulating number. And I wouldn't move the end of year 2 or the year 3 child onto the recording until I've given them lots and lots of this way of manipulating and recording their answer. And this, to me, when you see a child presenting their answer like this, for me, we're bringing art into it, because when you see it on the piece of paper, for me, it's really artistic, because the children know that the 10 rod must go underneath the 1 here. There must be a finger space in between each of these. It does look really quite creative, and it does look quite colorful, and get them to do the counting. So what is 10 times 10? So based on the fact that we're working with children whose confidence we are working with and we're raising, when they're ready, I will then get them to write anything down. But the first part of their learning is, can they represent their answer purely by using manipulatives and nothing else at all? So I did one here, which was 13 times 15. I did the 15 on the top, the 13 along the side. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So there's 15, fingers gap in between, 13 along the edge. So 15 times 13. And then I've got my 100 block here. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 1 is 10, and so on. 1 times 1 is 1. And then you can read the answer. You can read the answer. Children in year 3, they know what 10 times 10 is, and they know what 1 times 10 is, and they know what 1 times 1 is. So this would be ideal. This would be ideal for a year 3